Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Check it out. I'm in a different location out here in the driveway, and the reason I'm doing that and the reason I'm filming this is because I'm going to eat this thing anyway. It's October the 2nd, 2024, and we are still without power here in western North Carolina. The farm fared very well. I have to say I'm quite blessed, or feel quite blessed, and some of the preps, some of the things that I have accumulated over the years, which I don't call preps, I call insurance policies, are starting to pay off. But it is a sad time here on the farm because so many of our friends and neighbors have lost a lot. My coworker, her mother's or her grandmother's house was pushed off of its pad by the water and collapsed. She's okay, grandma's okay, but no one around here has flood insurance. So the damage here that we're looking at is going to be catastrophic for that family, and it's really sad. Neighbors here lost all their food. I've helped with some small equipment repairs and tried to help out where I can, but there's just not a whole lot I can do. The only damage to our farm was and I'll put a video in later on at some point. I'll show you some of the damage we have here, but there was some damage sustained to a culvert that is our driveway, goes over today, which is an MRE review. I picked these up at the Dayton Ham Fest, and they are low sodium. I tried one of the other ones, didn't film it, did not think much of it, so I'm hoping this one is better. It is menu number 5, sweet and sour sauce with rice and chicken. And it is not a military MRE. It is like a military MRE. So let me dump this out onto the table here. We'll take a look at what we have. We do have one of those packet heaters, but I don't ever use those things. I like to eat my MREs cold because they taste so bad as it is usually. Use this to contain the meal pouch in the heating bag during the process. So it has like a little cardboard sleeve, it looks like. And then we have, again, this not quite MRE. We have a spork, but it's a pretty cheap one. And the last one I had, they didn't even include a fork. It was missing from the kit. Little packet of pepper. This is interesting. Gluten-free, sodium-free seasoning. Never heard of that, but it is soft. And one relatively small napkin. And we have a very liquidous pouch. What's this one here? Banana apple smoothie. That actually doesn't sound all that bad. The other one had pumpkin grape or something like that. Good Lord, it was terrible. I'm not going to lie to you. All right, so what do we have here? Cranberry Crisp Protein and Energy Bar. That actually looks good, domestic. It is smushed a little bit, but... And then our main course here, which is the sweet and sour with rice. And I'm looking forward to trying this out. So let's go ahead and cut into the main course here. I hope everyone out there is doing okay wherever they are in the country. It looks like from the radio that a lot of focus is being placed in our area. But I know from previous hurricanes that I've lived through that it doesn't just affect your town, it affects a large area. And Florida's been hit, Georgia's been hit, Tennessee is also suffering from terrible stuff. So my heart goes out to everyone here. All right, so it looks like chili is what it looks like, but it's got that MRE smell to it. I don't taste any sweet and sour at all. I taste chili with rice is what it tastes like, and say that this is the wrong meal in this package. This is like chili with rice. There's no sweet and sour. There certainly isn't any chicken in here. I don't get any Chinese flavor at all, really. That being said, it's not bad. So we're on. Power went out Thursday night. That's the following Wednesday, so day 6. We're doing pretty good here. But there hasn't been a lot of sunlight. And a lot of what I have as far as preps, if you want to call it that, are solar based. And so we still have had to conserve energy quite a bit, although, as I said, we're a lot better off than the majority of our neighbors here, which is nothing to brag about. It's sad that the situation that people are going through right now. The National Guard is in town helping with the distribution of food and water. And in another video, I'll take you on a tour of Farpoint. I'll show you a part at Farpoint that I never really got into, although it was the main reason I started the channel all those years ago. We're going to go down. I'll show you our spring box. There's a reason I chose this property. It's in a fishbowl, which protects it from high winds. It had a spring instead of a well, which means water pours out of the mountain. We can get all the water we need to sustain ourselves. And again, so many of our neighbors don't either have run out of gas or don't have a generator to start with and had wells. So they're completely without water or at the mercy of the government or other institutions to help out. And to the credit, there has been a lot of donations from a company called Samaritan's Purse of generators and water and other, necessities. There are food stations that are set up for people whose entire, groceries went up and just went bad. I think one of the reasons I'm sort of prepared for this calamity is, everything is 50% luck in the first place. Our house could have been flooded and pushed off the foundation. We chose not to live anywhere near a large river, but mudslides, things like that can still happen. So this isn't bad. It's not sweet and sour. Do you think you could live a week without power? If not, maybe it's time to start thinking about what it would take to live a week without power. And for a lot of folks, it's just not financially possible. But there are still steps that we can take to prepare for situations like this. Getting one of those bladder bags for your bathtub is a great idea. The storm's coming in, you can fill up, I think it's 60 gallons of water in one of those tanks. We have one of those. Thankfully, we didn't have to use it, but it's always an option. A big thing you can do is, if you have a generator, run it every now and again. A lot of folks hadn't touched a generator in probably 3 years because it's been about that long since we had a sustained power outage up here. And of course, it was nothing compared to this one, but I think it was 24 hours. It allowed people to, keep their refrigerators going for that amount of time. The problem is, a lot of them then just left it with whatever gas was in there and let it sit. And that's a disaster waiting to happen. You can fix anything at any time, but it sure is a whole lot nicer when you have power and the ability to wash your hands afterwards. So if you have a generator, maybe now is a good time to go check it. Make sure it runs. A lot of helicopters flying overhead. A lot of the houses in the area are isolated completely. So I would imagine another 20 or 30 minutes of the overflow we had. Our river went from about a foot high and 3 feet wide to about 15 feet high. And of course, 20 feet, 25 feet wide. It basically crested over the 5-foot culvert that we have, ran over the top of the driveway with a good gap of about 10 feet on either side of that culvert, and then created a new channel across the road and down off a mountain. And I wonder about my neighbors because, that water had to end up somewhere. Eventually it ended up in the river. We drove down there to check to see if the bridge was still there. And it is. It's not in great shape, but it's there. I think they're probably going to condemn it, but for right now, you can pass over it slowly. And that was something special. I'll share videos when I have the ability to, do some editing here, but I just wanted to touch base with y'all. And it was 20 feet higher than base level, maybe 30, honestly. Trees just shredded and dispersed. The entire landscape wiped clean of vegetation and foliage and trees. Moved huge boulders, parts of houses, everything. Just so tragic. You can stare at the aftermath of that and get a feeling of the scope of how bad the situation is for some people. And it's just something else. My friend on the other side of the county, we work together as well. His house and his mom's house still doing fine, but the road to his house and the entire community is gone. In fact, we were at a meeting together when the storm hit, and he had to end up parking his vehicle and walking up and around through the woods and having somebody pick him up on the other side to take him back to the house. I hope that they've been able to fix it. We obviously don't have any cell service or anything like that here, so there's no way to know, no internet. So there's no way to know what's going on with him. I haven't heard from him since. I have heard from my other co-worker, like I said, whose grandmother unfortunately lost a lot. Well, let's try this banana something or other. What was it? Banana? I can't remember. Hopefully I can taste it. Oh, it says it's a smoothie. Yeah, no. That is absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry, but I hate to let food go to waste, but that is not good. Well, let's finish it off with hopefully, oh my gosh. Boy, I wish I had something to drink right now. Let's finish it off with this Cranberry Crisp protein and energy bar. So you're gonna see, videos still popping up on the channel. This was not something I planned. It's just the way it works out sometimes. I had just loaded up the next 2 or 3 weeks worth of stuff onto the channel. Actually, all 3 channels. If you weren't aware, I have an automotive channel for Farpoint Farms Restorations and Repairs. And I also have Farpoint Mowers and More, which is the newest channel, and all of them had videos that were available for the next week or so. They're saying another 7 to 10 days. I'm hopeful it comes back on sooner than that. My wife went into town to check on some friends, and she was able to get there. They've made some temporary patches to the roads to get there. The town itself is wiped out. Walmart got destroyed. So did most of the grocery stores. So it's going to be months, if not years, before town recovers. But that's just the way it is, I guess. So I don't know when you guys are actually going to get to see this video. I'm thinking about going into town to my other job on Friday, which will be 8 days past 8 days past power going out. Go in there and check on stuff down there, make sure the flooding wasn't too bad where we are. And then I might, if they have internet in town, which I don't believe they do, send this video, upload it, and I'll put it out on Saturday. So if you're watching this video on Saturday, October, whatever, 3rd, 4th, 5th or 6th, I guess it would be, it's probably the most unusual video I'll ever put out. A MRE review and an update of the calamity, the apocalypse for Western North Carolina, all the way from Asheville to Ash and Avery and Watauga and Brevard. I mean, there's pretty much all of those Blue Ridge Mountain towns, Newland, and it's just devastated. So I hope you'll keep those people that are deeply affected and have suffered losses. There's definitely loss of life in this one. Keep them in your mind. Look out for them. If you have an extra buck, donate to them. I think the most important thing for me out of all this, the 2 things that have kept me going, I've been able to run solar enough to keep my fridge and my freezer from spoiling. Y'all know what the cost of everything costs. And the food is just so outrageous. So we still have our food. And that's a huge thing that not many people in this county can say right now. And they're not able to get resupplies up here right now because most of the grocery stores are shot. So this is the kind of food folks are eating. The other thing that has really helped, for me anyway, and this is like the little things that give us comfort, is I've been able to go get water from the spring, so we have plenty of water. But I have a gas stove, and we have heated up, 2 gallons of water in 2 of our kitchen pots, and we've had 1 for the soap and 1 to rinse with. So we have every night this week taken a nice outdoor sponge bath, and it keeps you feeling clean. It keeps you feeling good and fresh. I know from the Army, and you go out on these FTX and stuff like that where you're training, and you go out in the woods for weeks at a time, or go out on deployment, and you just maybe a wet towel or wipe down, but that's about as close as you get to a shower. That can really bring the morale down after time. But we haven't suffered from that. My wife's able to she washed her hair last night with a little help right on the porch. It's a good thing not to have neighbors within eyesight of your property. Now today's the first day I've filmed anything. I have posted an update, just letting folks know I'm okay. But I think here for the next day or 2, I'm going to start documenting some of the things that I'm doing without power to maintain a somewhat normal lifestyle. We're able to do laundry. If you go back, way back, 2017, 2018, I have a 300 watt washer dryer combo that works beautifully. It's for an RV or an apartment. A company offered to send it to me years ago. Actually, I begged them to send it to me because I thought it was the coolest thing since sliced bread, and it is. We use it throughout, mostly in the summertime. A little late in the season for it now, but as long as it doesn't rain, the clothes dry the rest of the way on the line. So I'll make a video on that. Of course, I'll talk to you about my solar and some of the things that I wish I had done differently at this point. But no, I've always wanted to show you a video of my spring. And so I'll take you along on that, on filling that up and getting it back together. Now, as far as this MRE review, it's a mixed bag. Main course was good. This is good. That smoothie was so bad, I can't imagine that there are many people out there that would want to eat that. Of course, even starving is going to give you nutrients, but I think they can do better than that. I think they could make it both nutritious and caloric and all the rest and still taste halfway decent. It was very sour and bitter. Not very good at all. The world works in mysterious ways, my friend. Pray for your neighbors. Pray for Western North Carolina. But don't worry about Farpoint. I'll see you next time, my friends. Take care.